Hey, all, this is Ryan Monceaux, and this is the Talking About Them Cougars podcast from GoCoogs.com. See, talking about GoCoogs. I'm joined by Jayme Hollingsworth, who's doing all of our scouting work on the site right now. He's doing a great job. Brad Town should be here. I don't know where he is. Maybe he'll come. Maybe he won't. So, Jayme, Tuesday, U of H beats BYU 75-68. What are your first thoughts about that win?
Great road win. To hold that team under 70 points is just phenomenal. I thought they would likely get in the 80s. Maybe we'd still hold them under their, 90 that they were averaging at home, but hold them to 68 was just wild. So kudos to the Cougs because that's a pretty tough thing to do.
What do you think BYU got frustrated late in the game? They were getting good shots. They weren't falling, and I think U of H's defense had something to do with that. But I still think they were getting good looks.
Yeah, I think so too. They got that inside-out look that would have been huge if they could have made that to go up by 2. That's a shot that guy just makes. I literally had my eyes closed. I didn't want to see it go in, and when I did not hear the crowd go crazy, then I was able to open my eyes back up and see good things that happened. But, yeah, that's normally a shot that guy makes.
I thought that was maybe LJ Cryer's most complete game at Houston. Certainly his most complete in the Big 12. But he played really well, and he was there. He had 3 daggers in the game, but he anytime a BYU rally needed to be quelled, they put the ball in his hand and he shut him up. I mean, I don't know that he missed any shot that he really needed to hit at any point in that game.
Yeah, it was great to see. He was extra aggressive last night, getting to the paint, trying his little floater. When our guards get to the paint, we're a different team. Emmanuel attacking, getting to the foul line. It just makes so much more of a difference when the guards get to the paint. But that opens up guys like LJ also. It got him a lot of good looks last night. We had a ton of offensive rebounds. I know this is a weird stat, but Oregon women's basketball, they track offensive rebounds turned into threes. And that was a big stat for us last night. We got a ton of offensive rebounds that we were able to kick back out and knock down.
That is a stat U of H collects as well. They call them daggers.
Right.
Offensive rebound, kicked out, and make a 3 off of it.
Right.
They had 4 of those in the game. Malik Wilson had 1. I believe LJ had 3.
Wow.
So, that's I don't know in context how big a deal 4 is, but it's obviously a difference in a game.
Sure.
Was he the one that shot the floater, the goaltend, where the ball had been coming down for like 5 feet?
Right.
And the guy blocked it no, sir, that's not how that works. That was, I was way up in the top of the arena, and I saw that was goaltending. Jamal Shed continues to prove that he is just a fundamental leader, and he is the alpha on this team. And everything that guy does just screams to you National Player of the Year, Conference Player of the Year. Who knows how that goes, but you couldn't ask for him to do more than he's done in the last 3 games.
Right. Yeah, as far as national, it's kind of tough for him, with the 7-5 guy for Purdue any other year. He's right there for sure.
And you're just not going to get the shots here that you would get in the same system or in a similar system.
Yeah, but right now he's the guy that every team that we play has circled. You have to slow him down to have a chance to beat U of H. And teams just aren't doing it right now. He's on a different level, especially these past couple of games.
Who has surprised you so far in Big 12 play?
He didn't have a great offensive game last night, but Jaywan, He's really
Okay.
taken his game to another level, offensively and defensively. He came up with a massive rebound last night
Yeah.
after it looked like he was injured again,
Yeah.
but he was still skied and came down with a big rebound. So the offensive output that he put in against whoever we played 2 games ago, TCU.
TCU, Texas Tech. Yeah.
Yep. He played great in those games, but he just does little things that the common fan doesn't see. He just makes big
Yeah.
plays, and I think they call him. How does he affect winning? That dude affects
Yeah.
winning often. So
For sure. Yeah, he had 18 or 19 shots in a TCU game,
yeah,
and they just fed him and fed him.
right,
And I mean, he got hammered a few times, wasn't called.
right,
I would say Emmanuel Sharp would be my answer to this question.
yeah,
I think Emmanuel is doing so much more than he did even a month ago in terms of defense, in terms of rebounding.
sure,
Kelvin called him out in the summer during or after the scrimmage before they went to Australia. Kelvin called him out and said, he didn't have any rebounds. He needs to rebound. And Emmanuel took that to heart, and he has worked on that. He has worked on his defense. He's getting thicker in muscle, and you can see it. You can see him going inside and taking some shots, physical shots.
oh yeah,
But the rebounding, I mean, I think he had 9 last night, which was, I believe, the most in the game. But I think, he did not have a good shooting night. He hasn't had a good shooting night, maybe since Iowa State,
right,
but he is doing it for you in so many different ways. And Galen mentioned this on the show last night before I came on, I believe, saying that Kelvin focuses on, if your shot's not going in, put all your focus in something else where you can see the benefits start to accrue. And he challenged Emmanuel during shoot around to rebound the ball, and he sure as hell did with
right.
9 in the game.
It's crazy thinking about you talking about Coach Sampson sitting him down and talking to him before the game, and then you see the output that he does in the game. Whereas the last game, he had to sit down with Jamal before the game, and then we saw what Jamal did against Central Florida. So I think Coach Sampson needs to sit down with the guys before every game and challenge them.
Yeah, he knows the buttons to push.
Yeah.
And that's obviously being a good coach, but also doing it for 35 years.
Absolutely.
Or 40 years, really. He was on a show cause for 5 of those, but I mean, the guy just knows what to do. He knows the buttons to push, and that's why he is paid what he is paid, and that's why the expectations are kind of where they are.
Sure.
What have you thought about JoJo in the last 3 or 4 games?
I thought last night was incredible. Everybody saw the steal and the ability to
coast to coast JoJo.
The ability to go coast to coast was incredible. But no, again, it's the winning plays. He makes the big rebounds. He made that big rebound. I think it was against Central Florida where he just pawed it out of the air, and like it just didn't look like anybody else on the team could grab that rebound the way that he did. But he just has so much ability. Again, I give him kudos to his high school coach. I know that they did a good job with him, getting him ready, but he's going to be a physical specimen. When I think of JoJo, I wonder what it would be like to see him as a defensive end in football. Like, he's so long and athletic. He would be a nightmare getting to a quarterback.
That's pretty interesting. That's compelling.
But no, he's.
But I think this is where the future might be.
Absolutely. He's somebody that you can build around, and once he gets a shot, I can already see the things that he's doing in the paint. He's getting that little hook shot down. But yeah, once he can step out a little bit, face up, and make some plays, it's going to be just incredible to watch.
Yeah. So let's talk about upcoming. You've got Kansas State Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Kansas State played Wednesday night 8 o'clock game, and they have the quick turnaround out of Iowa State, so they have to fly home and then fly to Houston. The same turnaround U of H has Saturday to Monday night.
Right.
What have you seen on film of Kansas State so far?
They remind me a lot of TCU.
Okay.
They're athletic. They've got smaller guards that are still really dynamic. Tyler Perry, that transferred from North Texas, he was one of the top guys in the transfer portal. He can shoot the outside. He's a 3-level scorer. To me, the head of the snake for this one's going to be Arthur Kaluma, transfer from Creighton. Super athletic. One thing that impresses me about him is his shot fake. He gets guys off their feet, and then he attacks the rim. And when I say he attacks, he is going in there hard. So the Cougs will just have to be very disciplined when they guard him. Don't just jump at the first, fake that he gives and make him shoot the outside shot. He can shoot the 3. He can make it, but he would rather attack the rim. So those are the 2 guys that I would circle if I was U of H. Similar to TCU, they have one big guy transfer. They're another team that's just built through the portal, but they do have a good post player. He plays good on both ends, and they're a good team, but they're very similar to TCU. They're very beatable.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is a potential opportunity for U of H to overlook a team because you have Texas, which is a massive game, Monday night. It's natural for college-age kids to look ahead.
Sure.
Nobody dreamed of playing against Kansas State.
Right.
All these guys dreamed of playing for or against Texas.
Sure.
This is where the real coaching comes in, is getting your guys to focus on this game. Because if you don't win this one, then the BYU game doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, because you're going to have to win every game in this league at home and pick off 2, 3, 4 on the road to win the conference.
For sure.
And I mean, you saw how much of a nightmare it was to win last night. It's going to be same way at Texas, same way at Kansas, which means you have to hold serve at home. And I am certain that he's going to do his job in getting them ready. But I'm going to go talk with him, the players, and we're going to find out, where their minds are, what the message is, and see what happens going forward.
Right.
You joined this conference in the hope that it prepared you for March. And last night was one of those prep games. You've got more prep games coming up. I think this is the hardest stretch right now. BYU, Kansas State, Texas, Kansas.
Absolutely.
And this Kansas State game cannot be overlooked. You cannot have everybody focusing on Monday, which is a big game, but this game is the most important game this year, because if you don't win it, the BYU game, I mean, it's just chalk. You can't go win a road game and then lose one at home. It doesn't do you any good. So I think I assume you have U of H winning over Kansas State.
I do.
Yeah. 3, 5, 20. What you got? What's the
say
margin at the end of the day?
Let's go 10-15 on this one. I actually feel really good about it. If they do come in focused, I think they will have learned from the TCU game, playing that similar style. So I listen, this is going to sound crazy, but I think BYU scared me more than any team that I've watched so far, just because 1 through 8 could shoot the 3.
Yeah.
And with the way that we play defense, guys can get open shots, and they did.
They did.
We just got fortunate that towards the end they weren't making those open shots. But those are the type of teams that scare me the most. Everybody sees Kansas. They don't have a ton of shooters. They play kind of more the way that we play. So, teams like that, they don't really put the fear into me as much as a team like BYU that they can all shoot it.
Yeah. You thought you were about to get buried the way they started shooting the three. And I mean, it was like, uh-oh. If
Yeah.
the 6'11" guy is making them, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But U of H kept their composure and played the game they wanted to play.
Right.
And that's going to be vital this week. I mean, U of H has dominated all three teams at home in Big 12 play. The UCF score does not look like that domination, but obviously they only made 7 shots the entire game. I mean, that's pretty much dominant. But I think it's most likely I think Kansas State might have an early lead. U of H might not have their heads in it fully, but I think the home team takes over late in this first half and rolls towards the end of that game.
I agree. It seems like historically we've struggled a little bit in these early games as well. So I don't know if it's just waking up and getting motivated or what it is, but I could see them, playing with the Cougs early.
Yeah, I don't. Those early games I think are tough on everybody. You're just not ready to play basketball at 11 o'clock.
Right.
When I was in Provo, I looked at the schedule ahead to Saturday, and it was Kansas State 10 o'clock. And I was like, what? But it was because I was Mountain Time. I was like, damn. I mean, even as a fan, you got to be up early and ready to go to watch your team if they're playing in the Central Time Zone.
I'm
at 11.
I'm not looking ahead either, but Texas plays at BYU Saturday.
That's right. They were making a big deal about that game.
Yeah. So that's going to be a quick turnaround for them as well, having to travel back. Be ready to go Monday.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm going to ask tomorrow, does U of H keep their normal travel schedule and fly or bus Sunday, or do they wait and bus Monday or flies Monday morning because, it's 3 hours away. It's an 8 o'clock game. Maybe just keep your legs fresh at home just one more night.
Right.
We'll see. But I'm curious to see how they're playing that, how they're going to make that happen. So, Jayme, thank you so much. This was fun. We're going to keep doing these, pop in from time to time. Town's never made it. I guarantee that what is asleep. So my mother has said he's the number 2 guy on the Cat Show. It's Galen number 1 and then Towns number 2. Well, Mom, he didn't make it. He didn't show up. Drop him down the line. His seating is going to be all messed up. All right. Thank you, Jayme. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you.